вчерашнем полуфинале тоже мог бы залететь.
Уранус.
Что? Первый пик, по-моему. Ну, это
Да.
странно, честно, странно. Я понимаю, что
Да,
там пик
его
достаточно мобильный,
его
но...
брали.
Его кроме
на
меда
F5.
никуда больше и не брали, по-моему.
So wild because now, like honestly, the region of Singapore, we're like, wow, they've come up with weird stuff, and now it's forcing everybody to adapt around them.
Okay, this is interesting. And Amon has been picked up.
Love it.
So looking at the draft coming in from NIP Flash, it looks pretty tanky. But again, looking from Slangory Giants as well, it's pretty tanky too. So with that being said, Naisu as well as Strikes, hopefully you guys are ready for a very long match because the team fight is going to be extended. We're throwing it over to you guys.
Thank you so much, panelists. Great breakdown there, of course. Happy to join you for that draft as well. We've got a great draft on our hand here, Trex.
An interesting draft, and not a bad interesting draft. I mean, I think SRG may have the answer to the Kurt Teasy special right there. I think he's got the answer to it.
Well, we're going to find out if he does have that answer because the Battle of the Causeway is underway. And as we jump into the Land of Dawn for this first game of this best of 5, both teams looking to make history as their eyes are set on their first ever grand final spot appearance at the Mid-Season Cup. Will it be Selangor Red Giants or the Ninjas in Pajamas Flash taking the first mark? And we get a good sight here on how this is all going to play a part again. The Sky Prince, oh, look at this already mid lane.
Oh, so much damage from Kurt already. One more shot with Stormy, able to get away, and that is the pressure that comes from this Martis mid. I think it's going to be a little bit of time till Stormy's really able to counter it, but still it's huge.
I guess that goes back to it, man. Is this the answer to deal with Kurt Teasy? The Phoveus right now, because of the fact that we haven't seen it pop up too much, I mean, the same could have been said about Martiz earlier on until Kurt Teasy brought it to play. But I think, you know, when we get to when we start to get these skirmishes early on, and once that level 4 comes online for Stormy, that might play a part in here. Oh, Diablo 2. This is weird. I feel like this is different, right? As we take a look at the emblems here real quick, I want to point out the fact Diablo playing this Uranus is very different and a different contrast from what we saw with the Benedetta.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely much slower pace, but they have so much damage. Here comes Kurt Teasy, rotating up to the top side, putting damage onto the Sky Prince himself. I really love this pick from Hades. The Amon pick and big burst, first blood, over to NIP Flash. Hades gonna put that one into his pocket. I think the Amon pick is great as well. It's a beautiful answer to the Phoveus. No dash assassin, but still big damage.
Yeah, talk about already building up this early advantage on a pick like Amon. And you know, you kind of want to do the same thing if you're Sakai's here with that Ling, as we've seen him do in the past, but so far, because of the fact that Hades gets this first kill, gets a pickup, he has momentum on his side. Turtle's gonna be up, so the first objective to focus here, a whole lot happening on top.
God, Kurt's damage. Doesn't make sense. Mid laners aren't supposed to do this early, and now the Lord able to be the Turtle able to be taken by Sakai's. A lot of damage onto Yumzo. Kurt Teasy able to help Hades get the kill and secure one for himself as well. Sakai's goes down to 2-for-1 trade right now. Make it 3 as Cram falls next. Kurt Teasy 2-0-2. Turtle does go over to SRG though.
At least SRG gets the objective, but man, looking at the STC replay again, this is just chaos here. And that's partly due because of the Mortal Coils coming out from Kurt Teasy and that Decimate. So at least, you know, there's a pickup there as well, but man, NIP Flash coming out this game 1 with a flash, you know, it's very strong start for them. Looking at the items too, no first items locked in just yet, but they will be falling in place very soon. With this lead they've gotten themselves, and even just having those arcane boots, that little extra penetration will really help Hades here. And you know, this might be the answer to put Diablo on this Uranus. He's a stalwart in the XP lane. Just keep him there. Oh, hold on.
Hades gonna come in, should be able to burst down Cram. Cram goes down once again. Crammed into the coffin, man. It's 0-2-0 right there, and that is a bad start for a Dyroth.
Yeah, this is a bad start for a Dyroth, or for anyone, really. I mean, even this, Yums, okay, he has to flicker out, so he should be fine. Goes in.
A little bit of damage, nothing too major. You know, a lot of people would say it's highly debatable. The Dyroth does counter the Esmeralda back in the day, but I'm still a believer that I don't think it does it for the Uranus. The Consecration's able to just get him away, and we're starting to see that. You add that up with a couple deaths on the Dyroth, it's becoming a problem in that AXP lane.
So then we have to start to think, all right, well, with the Dyroth that you have here, with this lineup that SRG has, there could be a certain timing for them to kind of like pop off at this point, but because of the fact that Sakai has had such a difficult time, he's going to take a lot longer for Ling to build up here. Corrosion Scythe just being locked in by Innocent down here in the gold lane. Of course, that classic matchup we see so much of against the Harith. But even with that, SRG actually wants to go ahead and contest this turtle here. Look what Diablo's doing too. He's just being a nuisance. Might try to get the retribution out, but won't be able to, so they forced him out of the turtle.
Oh, and JPL's position as well, just keeping Sekai's at bay here. Kurt Teasy going to come in. SRG now finally kind of controlling the pit here. Nice lockup on a JPL. Demonic Force does pop, but Stormy unable to use it once again. JPL able to get the way of the dragon. Vanix putting a lot of damage down. Cram able to just get away. Zamon's Force does drop. Humes first to fall in the fight there. Innocent now going to get involved, able to get the spear against Diablo. Pin him against the wall, but Diablo pops concentration, gets away. Turtle goes over to NIP Flash. Spear Destruction does not connect. Curtizi goes down. Stormy able to pick it up, looking for another target. Sekai's there as well. A double kill for Stormy. It's 2-0. Turtle over to NIP, 6-3.
Hey, that might be the answer, man. Give some kills to Stormy. Let him pop off on this Fulvius pick. And I would like to know, too, maybe this is that 80th pick unique heroes for the MSC 2024 here. And again, looking at the items fall in place, he's already got that Clock of Destiny locked in now for Stormy. This could be a big power spike for the team lineup here from SRG, because so far there hasn't been a direct answer just yet from Curtizi. They're going to have to shut him down.
Ooh, I'm offended. On to 2. Curtizi goes down. The pick is starting to fold. JPL taking some damage as well. Demonic Force doesn't get proc. Stormy doesn't need to blow the load yet.
Hey, man. Humes is like, you know what? I've been seeing way too many mortal coils. You escaping Curtizi, and they finally get him handled. So now it's shifted a little bit for NIP Flash. They have to have an answer for Stormy. We know that Fulvius, now traditionally in history when he is picked up, once he gets a lead like this, I don't know, he just becomes almost unkillable, especially when he pops that Demonic Force against them. JPL gonna get some information, will get zoned out there, but that's the thing. NIP Flash, great start for them, but they could easily lose that lead they built up already.
So both teams, I think, are going to have two very hard-to-kill forces. We have the Uranus with Diablo. We're going to have Stormy for SRG. Both teams do have answers, though, right? You have Humes and Innocent, who should be able to shred down Diablo. He should be able to get away from this. And then on the other side, you have JPL, who can get that big way of the dragon, stun up Stormy just long enough that maybe they can burst him down. So it's going to kind of come down to who can get these big boys out of the way.
Yeah, it's all about, like, getting them out of the way, but at the same time, you're buying time for your gold laners. You know, like, Innocent needs time. Obviously, he just picked up his next item, the Golden Staff, now for this Mozkov. This is the third turtle of the game. Looks like NIP Flash is just going to go ahead and start it up and try to keep Sakai's from getting into retry range here.
Pinch Poise is up. Zamon's Force does drop. Humes drops along with it. Turtle looking like it could go over to NIP here. Sekai's still there. Stormy taking a little bit of damage, forced to back off. Cram backs off as well. Down to the boss side, though. Innocent able to take a tower during the chaos. Hades finds the turtle. So tower for turtle, plus pressure in the bottom lane. SRG not completely losing out.
They get what they can. NIP Flash, you know, it's better that they just go ahead, get that turtle. They got a kill off of it, but SRG at least making some macro play here. It's part of, you know, basically the chessboard, if you will, because SRG, they got to have space to work around with, especially the lineup. This is where the Ling gets to shine. You have a space advantage around the map. You can then go ahead and put pressure as well. So it reverts from Innocent doesn't always have to be the one split pushing. You can then let Sakai's do it. He shows up for these objectives and tries to steal it. Now, part of that, too, is where does this Dyroth fit into this whole thing? And it might just be, you know, oh, hold on.
JPL take some, should be okay. Should be okay.
He's all right. I was going to say, you know, it might just be getting that armor penetration on with that Dyroth. And, of course, the Abysm Strike's a little bit tough to land here, I would say, against this lineup from NIP Flash. But also items locking in here. Berserker's Fury now for Sakai's, working against that gap. But look at this. The Genius Wand 2 from Hades will help with the fact that you want to play into Vanix. You have this Harith. You got to let him shine at some point, but already looking at this fight for mid-control, if they can get the tier 1 turret down, that might be best for whoever is able to do that before the Lord comes up.
Yeah, tier 1 mid is going to be huge. Both teams have lost a little bit on the side lanes. Nothing too major. Hades versus Sekai's, though, I'm wondering, they got to do something about Hades because Sekai's having trouble getting in onto these neutral objectives, because if Hades has that ult ready to go and he lands it, it's a lot of damage onto a squishy Ling, right? And it's something you're not really able to dance around. So SRG needs to create some space when it comes down to these Lords. Taking a look at these gold differences, Diablo right now, full 1.8 ahead of Cram.
Yeah, he's been farming his mind out. JPL, though, constantly looking, possibly conceal. Man, I feel like, you know, when we saw JPL earlier in the matches, he was such a playmaker. Right now, it looks like he's struggling to really find the right setup. But he's got the, you know, he's managed to do it 4 times. It's just now at this point in the game, you have to be even more careful because of what's happened in the previous skirmishes. And although they hold, you know, a bit of a lead, look at the confidence that SRG has. They're going to go ahead, pull up the Lord, try to get the attention. Meanwhile, Diablo will continue to do this against Sakai's. So the information is already there, trying to get this retribution out. Oh, he's actually quite low, too.
Ooh.
This is dicey.
Sakai's trying to come in. Turtle does go over to SRG. Stormy finds Hades along with the Bakram. Able to answer. Find one on a JPL. Now Curteezy on the run. The Monk Force drops, and Curteezy drops along with it. Vanix goes down. Stormy with a monster kill.
The Sky Prince pulls it off. Even with 25% HP, Diablo messing with him the whole time. He comes in, swoops in like the prince he is. Boom, gets the retry off and gets the safety. Meanwhile, the rest of the team handles everything. You know, he came in, did his job, and he's out of there.
They're handling business.
He handling business.
Handling business. Pulling
As they like
up.
to say. Yeah, pulling up like they like to say in Florida, man.
You know, that's how they're doing. Lord going to be coming soon now on the bot side. NIP completely lose the lead. 2,000 now over to SRG, and they're going to be pushing hard on this one.
Yep, they're going to go ahead and get these tier 2 turrets now. NIP Flash, you know, they started, like I said, with a flash in the beginning. And now they're being kind of stopped here a little bit. Shields are going to pop. They might be able to hold on to this turret here. It looks like they will be able to in the bottom lane. JPL still kind of struggling to find his setup because he kind of is that front guy to be the initiator for this matchup. Also, keep an eye on Hades, on his plans there. Oh,
JPL
wow.
down.
JPL
Couldn't even cast
down.
that one.
He's just deleted. And, you know, at this point, Hades is like, you know what, I'll just go ahead and get these buffs. Get what I can, steal it, and try to slow down this shift.
Ooh.
But, oh, this is tough, Hades.
Yeah, a lot of damage. Tempest of Blades, right to the face. Takes Hades right out of his place. Hades down. Sekis able to put another kill down on the board.
Man, Sakai's he's tired of it. You know, he dealt with the pressure in the early game, and he's like, I am not having that anymore. Also, too, for Cram, his job has just become be a little tanky, be this tanky Dairoth, get that debuff, that armor penetration on, and then let the rest of the team shine. Meanwhile, Stormy has not died. He is basically an unkillable, whatever Phoveus is, demonic force guy.
He's a demonic force.
And how do you deal with him if you're NIP Flash? Because their lineup's pretty squishy. Diablo, look at this.
Ooh, a lot of damage on a Diablo. Pops the consecration, but damn, it's too much. The unkillable Diablo, the Demon King himself, taken out by the Sky Prince.
I've never seen a Uranus go down that fast. Like, talk about damage burst already with Sakai's here, especially good layering. But for NIP Flash, now that the tables have turned, we're talking about 5,000 gold now in favor of the Giants here. With this momentum that they have, NIP Flash is kind of left to wonder, how do we actually win these team fights? How do we get the advantage in our favor? A Malefic Roar also being picked up by Sakai's will make that even more difficult at this point. JPL's almost at risk. I mean, he's almost... Oh.
Ooh, Curteezy pulled in with the Yama Fend, and the burst damage connects over and over, but Curteezy still able to just get away. Tempest of Blades drops. JPL flickers back. The Bronze Force is there to help out. Trying to dance around. Van X trying, but he still falls. That's one down. SRG, it's all they need to try to move over. But Hades now trying to lock onto Krem here. Gets the ult off. But he lives! And he falls for that one! Set, guys! Set, guys! 5, 2, and 4.
Cram just stood there because he's like, nah, I'm fine. I have an Athena shield.
I'm good, bruh.
I'm good. And they're going to get the Lord off that too. So SRG, man, talk about a shift completely in momentum from what we saw in the early game here. Again, looking at it, he's got Radiant Armor and Athena Shield. His job literally is just to go in and, like I said, get the debuff and survive as long as you can. Again, a pull.
Oh my god, the damage is just too fast. Curteezy falls down. 2 members. Hades just gonna come back. back onto the land of Dawn to try to defend the push. But SRG have a Lord coming, so they can just take their time with this. You know, Cram, we thought he was going to be the burster. Nah, bro. I got a Ling for that. I got a Sky Prince for that.
You got Innocent.
I got
for
an
that.
Innocent for that, bro.
Innocent has just had what I like to call the gold lane experience. He just farmed up his entire time. He's online now. He's ready to rock and roll. But, you know, at this point, it's going to be very grim, very difficult for NIP Flash to defend against this. With this kind of power spike in favor of SRG. Look at this. Turret just dismantled quickly. Lord still up. They want to fight.
JPL can't even look for the kick because Yooms is always there to lock him, but here comes JPL to the backside, trying to get a target, but the Lord already connected onto the base. JPL eliminated. Hades able to find Storm. His Mons Force does drop, but the base is down to 30%, and SRG will take game number 1.
And the Red Giants come out swinging to game number 1 of this best of 5. And man, that was the answer. We were wondering, what's the answer to the Martis? Well, it's the Sky Prince, along with the squad here. Again, great squad. Great performance from Selangor Red Giants, man. With this kind of lineup, with the trouble that they had in the early game, talk about the adjustment. And that is why these guys have been undefeated for, I don't know, 100+ days at this point. The synergy they have, the way that they can pick up each other from the different lanes, different roles, are great. So let's go ahead and throw it over to our panelists to see what they have to say about game 1.
What we have to say? Dude, that was clean. That was clean coming in from SRG.
That was huge momentum. I mean, I thought the early game was pretty much doomed, right? How many kills was given over to NIP Flash, and somehow we did see SRG swing it back in their favor off of one singular fight.
Yeah, this fight, which kind of proves to me that at least the Land of Dawn Lord is actually Malaysian. You know?
Yeah.
That's...
I mean,
sort of felt that way.
Here's the thing: the Sky Prince Skies did his job, but the Prodigy, man, Stormy, like he's like, okay, you want to play fighter mid? We'll fight fire with fire.
Yeah, this is amazing. And this is why I felt like picking up the Martis, and you did ask me during the pre-show, this Martis will be noticed by SRG. No way Coach Arcadia will not have a plan for that, and apparently they had it. I also love this Dyrith pickup because the Uranus was picked up very early. I think NIP Flash was actually kind of anticipating the Phoebus that will be eventually picked, because Uranus is an answer to the Phoebus, but they did not take for account this Dyrith. Dyrith was Ling, classic combo from way back, and you can see how massive it is in the mid game.
Apply that shred, just let Ling do all the rest of the damage, and if you need a little bit extra, Dyroth can even add their ult into the mix.
I mean, we gotta talk about the new item. Well, not new item. It's been revamped, right? The Clock of Destiny on this Phoveus, making it so that he's even more tanky. He died once, but letting Stormy die at one time, it took a while.
I agree with that. I do think it was an interesting build to actually adapt into the Clock of Destinies. However, it does come with a couple of setbacks. I mean, even when we're talking about the latest item that has been revamped as well, the Thunderbelt, as soon as you start stacking that hybrid defense, anybody who has percentage armor shred, similar to Dyroth, similar to having a Malefic Roar, you really start to see, like, is it truly worth it compared to just the Sky Guardian helmet?
Probably. That's always a toss. I think it will be dependent on the actual execution. I think that because you want some magic damage to on this Phoebus, particularly in this game, you kind of want to have some sort of build up, at least some sort of additional damage. Because if you pick up the Dyroth plus the Ling and the Mousecap, that's so much physical damage.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, it was the complete opposite here for NIP Flash. That's why I thought the Amon was okay. Yeah, it works in the early stages, but then it was like Harith, Uranus, and then Amon. Your only physical damage is the Martis. It's like completely reversed between the two teams. I would favor physical damage because it's more scaling, and you saw that after an abysmal early game, they recovered, and in the late game, it was difficult for the physical damage dealers that scale to be dealt with.
Now, here's the thing. Like, it was a very bad start for SRG, but somehow they were able to claw it back up. Can you show with Bob what really happened that made SRG win the game again?
Well,
win back the game.
The most important, I would say, timestamp for this one is at the 9-minute mark, where it was the First Lord, and we are going to see that there are good steps that NIP Flash did, but only some minor mistakes that they kind of let through that made this difficult. So at 9 minutes in, they were ahead about 2,300 gold, as you can see up top. And then if we look at the minimap, I do hope that we will be looking at this minimap. There you go. There is an invasion that was being done by Uranus. Maybe it's not that clear at this point, but that is the first step. And then the next step is to actually look at the Lord, wherein it was NIP Flash started it. But now you look at Mr. Hades, who actually popped the ultimate at this point. So if you think about it, the HP of the Lord is not yet at retribution range. Usually when you pick up the Amon, you utilize the ultimate and then retribution, right?
Yep.
So that there will be no steal. This actually allowed the Ling to catch up. And then another mishap happens. Look at this. Look at that a puddle of
Yeah, the
water
puddle, yeah.
at the feet of Hades, which is clearly a problem. Got knocked up at the most opportune moment. Stormy pops him as well with the damage coming up from COD. And at this time, Phoebus is already a threat, and there's no need to explain the other stuff. Obviously, this will be in favor of NIP Flash. So while it is good that they did the invasion with the Uranus, just, you know, starting on that opposing purple buff, it's also good that they bursted down the Lord. But I think just the timing of the ultimate, as well as not looking at your hero, was the problem for Hades. I think, and this is my guess, I think it was looking at another part of the map.
Yeah.
Because he probably dragged this map, you know?
I personally think that it's a little tough to say exactly what happened here, but I do want to bring up the fact that even before and after that fight, Diablo could not frontline for the team, because essentially he invaded, like you pointed out before, and that kind of gave vision on where exactly Ling was. But you mentioned it during when we were talking about it, that even for Skies, he comes in, retributes the Lord, steals it away, and opts to go a completely separate direction where the main force is pushing into the enemy back line, and Diablo continues to chase Ling.
Speaking of Skies, we got to look at our Sony MVP, and it's the Sky Prince, Skies, using the Ling. Even though the early game didn't look as good, but the turtle steals, the lore steals, and the burst of damage, even Uranus can't take it.
I want you guys to actually look back at this game and notice that because of how bad the early game was for Sakai, he decided to, at 5 minutes into the game, stay into the top lane. Of course, he's going to take his jungle, but he actually took a lot of minions up top. That meant that Cram will have to sacrifice one lane, actually went to the mid lane. They also know that Stormy as well will not have as much farm, but they have recovery farm for Sakai. So look at that. 2 blades, more than enough. The damage is just too much. Sakai's not, you know, being tilted, not panicking, actually gets the first turtle of this game to, and then flash farmed up top. While it's true that Moskov had the gold lane experience, Sakai's also had a unique experience of his own.
I think he had
moving.
I mean, that's the thing. To me, that looked like Cram knew, okay, I could die here, but I also couldn't. And considering everything that has happened, like, you got to give it to guys at this point of time, right? But the decisions being made, sacrificing gold and EXP from Cram to make sure that he is even level, despite Hades having a whopping early game, was actually a really smart choice. And it also attributes to the problem. A lot of magic damage. Cram was like, okay, I'm not building damage. Give me Athena Shield, Radiant Armor, and I might be able to survive.
Yeah, skipping the dominant size. We don't need that dominant size.
Who needs it?
Only the Martis is a threat when it comes to physical.
Guys, come on, man. The Sky Prince.
I love it.
And again, like, he definitely showed off his moniker, man. Looking at how he's been moving around all across the map. And like you said, the most important thing was that he didn't choke. It's like, okay, I didn't do all that great in the early game, but as long as I farm up, it should be fine.
Yeah, it's all about, it's a team recovery. And I think for SRG, one of the biggest traits that I actually asked Coach Arcadio, why this, you know, ragtag band of misfits were able to, you know, and I say that because there was a lot of criticism when this group was put together.
Yes.
But he said the chemistry is something that you can never take away. He almost attributed it to luck, you know, that he felt that he was lucky because the players had this weird connection for some reason. Because let's be honest, SRG's success is very fast.
Yeah, you know what? We want to touch on that a little bit more, but for now, starting on July 24th is the female pro players' time to shine. Catch the MLBB Women's Invitational 2024, where 12 teams from 11 regions break barriers and redefine esports. So again, it's July 24th. Make sure you guys check it out. And I do want to talk about it because here's the thing. We want to hear more about their connection. With that being said, let's throw over. There's a video between Arcadia as well as Yums.
It's best of a young core. It can be a long-term lineup.
Like just now we discussed, all these players are actually under 20. Is this part of your plan?
I would say yes, because when I was still in my former team, like before RQ, which is Echo, my vision in getting Sanji and Sanford is to make sure that the core lineup is young. Because they are young, it's still easy for the organization to stick with the players because they still have a lot of ages to play. And unfortunately, sometimes in esports, when you get older, reflexes doesn't get better. We were thinking that it's best of a young core. It can be a long-term lineup.
That's actually an interesting perspective. Making sure that you get them while they're still young so that they have a long period of time in the pro scene. That's... I haven't thought of that.
Even outside the game, it seems like SRG's game style is scaling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But here's the thing. You guys are talking about it every single time I'm able to talk to SRG. They never talk about in-game stuff.
Yeah.
They keep saying our synergy outside of game is amazing just because we're roughly the same age. And like Coach Arcadia says, like, it's weird. They just have this magical connection.
It kind of... The way that he described it is that it was almost instant. The way that they managed to kind of play together as a team, and the synergy was there. But at the same time, they also played a lot. Before that, they also had different like targets every time that they trained. So it's not just like, okay, play this hero, master this hero. No, it's not like that. They try to plan where they have to focus on for each and passing day. You know,
I do think that this is a lot attributed to the fact that, you know, Slango Red Giants Esports, they are backed by a football club, a state football club. Right?
He actually mentioned that.
Yeah, and the important thing about this is because before this squad even got together to play competitively, they had quote-unquote a boot camp, a bonding experience. And I think a lot of those similar, you know, traditional sport methods really came into play to help build that chemistry and connection.
I'm so glad you pointed that out because that was actually coming from Coach Arcadia himself. It was that sports mindset wherein you don't have to look for immediate results. You have to really trust the process, and that's really what happened with SRG.
I mean, I hope more teams learn from this because, again, we've seen many different teams. One season, you're out, right? And again, like you guys said, it's a process, and we can see inside the mind of Coach Arcadia is that grab the players that have a long lifespan in the scene. With that being said, we're about to jump into the draft. Right now, NMP Flash have shown the Martis is still very, very strong, almost getting a lot of first bloods in the starting of the game. But again, it looks like SRG has the answer for it, and it might be the Phobias. And the thing is, Stormy's a prodigy. He could use anything, so he might have different fighters in the back of his pocket.
Yeah, and to be perfectly honest with you, sometimes when I'm talking to, especially with the Zoraveki, he's explaining to me, sometimes the players are just, here's a suggestion, right? It's not even part of the main scrim lineup that they've been practicing over the past couple of months. Sometimes it's spontaneous.
Which speaks to how good the fundamentals are for SRG, and I think that is what they developed as well. Coach Arcadia himself told me that they had to develop the fundamentals so rigidly, and it's really what they hammer into the heads of their players, because if you master the fundamentals so much, it won't matter if you had to adjust, like for example pick up the Phobius afterwards. Maybe there will come a point that utility should be the choice for Sekais, right? And they are prepared for that. So this is what makes SRG a scary club to actually face off against.
Yeah, no, honestly, like Sekais, Coach Zoraveki said that this, like, Sekais makes his life so easy because if the meta asks for assassins, he can use it. If the meta asks for tanks, he can use it. If the meta asks for mage, sure, he can probably use it. With that being said, it looks like NFP Flash has started their bans, and they're banning out the Angela as well as the Valentina. SRG bans out the Chip as well as Moskov. Looking like NFP Flash is blue side and SRG is red side.
Okay.
The fact that they're getting rid of the Angela and as well, don't worry, I'll give you some time, because the fact that we're seeing that NIP Flash is taking out the Angela as well as the Valentina doesn't seem like they're changing their strategy too much. But the real question really boils down to, are you going to get rid of heroes that force you to play a certain style, right? And that's usually the Loyi, maybe even the Ling.
And it will be Harith as the ban for NIP Flash. So as a recap, that's Angela, Val, and Harith. cheap Moskov and not well. They're still thinking about it for.
I
SRG.
mean, I'm thinking whether or not they're just
Lee?
going to open both and be like, hey, I mean, Roger's kind of good, you know?
Yeah.
If NIP Flash gets it, that's totally fine. But at the same time, they've got to have some backup plans.
Yeah, I believe
then
that,
Roger.
Oh, sorry, Sir Roger. So I think NIP Flash. I think you're better off picking up the Ling instead of the Louis because I feel that it's difficult to kind of play Louis when there's a Ling. But then again, Louis is Louis, so
Louis is just one of those heroes where it's like, well, I mean, even if I die, at least I've TP'd my entire
exactly, exactly. So yeah, I did my job. I did my double vacuum and my TP. I'm already good to get out. You know.
Yep. Looks
So
like
it is Louis indeed.
Yep, NIP Flash first picks up the Louis. SRG, I wonder if they want to pick up the Ling again.
Ling Ruby perhaps.
Yeah, sounds good.
It has been a strong opener for SRG for the most part of it, right? But at the same time, I am questioning whether or not Edith should come into play in these points of times because, again, it really boils down for Singapore to have these not only early game compositions, but real control over the lanes, which has been a top priority for them since the beginning of the tournament.
Okay.
Looks like SRG is thinking their pick here, so again, taking their time, but looks like they're
Oh,
picking up the
Ling
Ling and the Claude. That's very interesting, picking up the Claude this early.
Yup, very, very honest. Do you pick up Terizla in this situation? I believe that that should be a good answer here, and then the Arlet as well. But then you kind of revealed both.
Exactly. I think that Terizla is too much of a dead giveaway. I think if you start with the Arlet, at least you have a little bit more flexibility coming into the second phase.
But you need a Vanix hero too, so yeah.
That's true. I mean, they gotta lock it in now before it gets banned out later.
That's true. Like, I don't know, will they be forced with a Nathan?
That would be dangerous because I'm pretty sure Yums can use the Lolita.
That's right. Which also should be picked up by NIP Flash, but I think they will not third pick it. And then the worst that can happen is that the third pick is
Benedetta.
Link Claude. Oh, of
Benedetta
course.
Grok. They want to win the mid and they want to win the EXP lane, so they're creating a triangle here.
Interesting,
Oh.
interesting. With Benedetta being the Swiss Army knife of most EXP lanes, and honestly, doesn't really have a bad or super good matchup. At the end of the day, it's about that control like we were talking about. I'm getting the suspicion that they're going to start invading this lane on purple whenever they have the opportunity, maybe even get a proxy if mid is going well.
Yeah. Cho
Honestly-
looks good. Cho looks good for SRG.
Honestly, with just the 3 picks here, I actually want to ask our casters, looking at NIP Flash's pick, Louis, Benedetta, as well as Grok. The Benedetta with Diablo has been amazing. What do you guys think of the first 3 picks for NIP Flash?
For NIP Flash, I'm loving it, man. I think this might be and I was talking about the Uranus pick last game with the Diablo. This time he gets his Benedetta, so hopefully this helps answer some of the problems here that they dealt with earlier.
You know, I love that NIP doesn't... They're able to stick to what's comfortable for them while also adding a little flavor here and there. SRG, though, man, that Claude pick. I think we all thought the Ruby was coming in a second pick, but the Claude pick was genius because of so many marksmen being banned out. And now with NIP not picking it up, it's going to be tough if more marksmen get banned out as well.
Yeah, but that being said, the Ruby did get picked up by SRG as well. So for now, it's looking pretty solid for both teams. SRG having the Ruby has a little bit of flexibility here. And Gideon, SRG bans out the Guinevere.
I think it's a good option because at the end of the day, pickoffs are really strong when you have waves, especially heroes that control the waves well. They're always going to be there first. Their hit and runs are just going to be much, much faster. And I think from this point onwards, SRG is probably thinking, all right, if we don't have control over the lanes, what's the next best thing that we can do? And probably just invest a little bit more down by gold side by having a dedicated, maybe even a babysit lane.
Okay. So that is Roger and Gwyn for SRG as the next bans. Let's Lilia apparently for NIP Flash. Pretty smart.
Yeah, because again, looking at the mid coming in from NIP Flash, they can get mid prio. So without that Lilia, it's going to be difficult for Stormy. And looks like SRG are banning out the Baxia. So they ban out Guinevere and Baxia.
Baxia, alright.
So now for NIP Flash, they ban out the Lilia. Honestly, casters, what do you think about this Lilia ban, as well as Aurora ban?
Yeah, they're locking down Stormy's options here, man. I think that's probably one of the things you really want to do for NIP Flash because, hey, Stormy had a hell of a game the previous one, and again, it was on a Phoveus, but I think even if you go and deal with Lilia, that's great. Aurora has been a go-to pick for a lot of these mid laners, so I think good quality bans here coming out from NIP.
Yeah, definitely solid all around. I mean, both teams are going to have to struggle for some picks here. We still need it's going to be a hard-to-pick mid laner and a hard-to-pick jungler from the set of NIP. So, oh, Novaria, though, still open and super clean.
There's Novaria. Yeah.
Called it.
I think this is a safe bet, personally. I think at the very least, SRG wants to see the full lineup of NIP Flash before they decide anything else, and playing around the information, considering that you don't necessarily have to like participate in the laning phase as a Novaria, is not bad of an option.
Because this should be an assassin here for NIP Flash. Maybe I'm thinking of Julian actually, which is be okay for NIP Flash. That means that you're going to be looking for a lot of physical damage from the gold lane. If not, this will be like Nathan Nolan for NIP Flash. But
What
that
about the
opens up
Julian?
the Lolita. Yeah, the Julian is great for NIP Flash for sure, but that means that they will have to go for a marksman that is physical based, which at this point you're only left with what? Beatrix?
What about Clint?
Clint?
It's tough. I mean, especially when you have the Ling
Alpha
there.
Alpha
Oh.
Bruno.
Oh man, this is definitely Lolita, right? For Yumes.
I wouldn't be too surprised if we do see it.
Wait, what about picking up something like a Yuzong here?
That's what I was thinking as well, because again, if you don't want to act, again, Ruby is a great flex pick, but at the end of the day, if you just chase down the Bruno and kind of split apart the entirety of the team, then it still disrupts NIP Flash.
Yeah. Benefit of Yuzhong is it's good versus Luyi. It's actually a recommended pickup when the Luyi is picked up, because you just countered that ultimate. I mean, not really countered that ultimate, but at the same time, kind of have a reset button for your team. The benefit of Lolita is like it's great versus both Bruno as well as the Luyi.
It looks like the final pick is the Yuzong indeed. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for the analysis. Looks like we've been calling a lot of the draft here. So again, thank you very much. But for now, casters, I hope you guys are ready, because NIP Flash, SRG, we're going to our second game. Now it's over to you guys.
Thank you guys again for the breakdown there for the draft here. Again, it's me, Naisu, and Trex here on the desk, ready to bring you game number 2 here in this best of 5. And with the lineup that we're seeing, Trex, I'm liking NIP Flash's composition this time.
It's definitely, it doesn't look as like there's as many answers. The big problem, though, and another genius play by the coach of SRG, man, Yume's getting, I mean, the Ruby getting flexed into the roam now. We've all been waiting for the Ruby roam, but it's mostly been the XP, but that's going to be a beautiful answer to the alpha now. It's like every time they always find something to put a wrench in NIP Flash's plans.
Hey, man, that's going to be Coach Arcadia for you here, but we're going to jump into the land of Donna once again, seeing if NIP Flash can go ahead and narrow down the series, get it to a 1-for-1. We'd love to see these 5 games of these Titans from their regions clash it out. Again, the first time that one of these teams will make it to the grand final here for the MSC 2024. And looking at this too, I'm glad to see Alpha come to play, man. You know, it's funny because I have you on desk here with me, and I know you've shared your sentiments about Alpha. But in the hands of Hades, hey, maybe he can make it work.
Honestly, Alpha has had some good runs. He's also had some very bad runs. He's kind of on the 50-50 right now. I didn't pay attention to what the win rate was, but I think we've seen some teams playing very well, and we've seen some teams playing very bad. So we'll see how he works out here.
Yeah, and part of that, Trex, is actually the fact that you get this great advantage early on, but wow, actually, Sakai's, is he going to push this? Okay, he's not. So part of the fact that you have this alpha early on, the damage is pretty good, but you pair it up with a Louis Yi, and I think that's going to be classic here when it comes to the first objective take. The amount of damage you can pump out on Louis Yi early on is quite shocking for a lot of people to deal with. You pair that up with an early level 4 Spear of Alpha, and you know, that's why Sakai's also wants to keep an eye on Hades, trying to keep him from getting that level 4. Tempest of Blades.
Both able to hit the level 4, though, cleanly. Still at an even jungle rate. Turtle's going to be up in 20 seconds. Both teams poking, putting the feelers out, but nothing too major yet.
Okay, here's the question for you. You haven't seen Bruno too much, maybe a couple times throughout the knockout stage. You think it's going to work here for Vanix this time? Because, let's be honest, he struggled in the previous game.
He definitely struggled in the previous game, but there was some reasons for that. I think this time there's possibilities for him. We do have some big crit damage there, a little less shred, and because there's a few more squishies, there's some targets he can get down onto. There's possibilities for him to pop off, but again, a lot of that comes to how the team is going to play around it.
Yeah, again, Turtle's going to be up now. Objective's going to be the focus.
Oh,
Whoa, there's a
speaking of Vanex.
Hey, Vanex having a better game already. Gets first blood on this Bruno pick. So that's about as good of a start as you can hope for on the Bruno for Vanex. So great start. Innocent does go down. It's not often you see that where, you know, some miscalculations from Innocent. And you know the Claude takes a lot longer to build up. Bruno, traditionally, maybe 2 items. Good diversion play too here.
Beautiful diversion play. They're going to lock on to Sekai's. The Sky Prince pops. That Tempest of Blades is able to just get away with the Finch Poise, but they got the orange buff, and either way, that is a dub for NIP, but now they're on the run. Innocent with a Blazing Duet, able to connect onto both. Sekai's trying to maybe think about the pop-in, think about the engage. They decide to back off, though.
Ignore the turtle for now. Let's just duke it out. Let's just fight, they say. But now with that, you know, losing that orange buff isn't going to be anything too crazy for Sekai's. He does have his purple at least, and they might make their way for this turtle now. They're going to go ahead and focus out JPL so he can't get that setup he's looking for. Still has the wild charge and the flicker. So this is going to be a little bit of a crucial moment for both these teams. Real quick, too, no first items locked in just yet. Still on the way there. Couple level 2 boots also locked in for some of the roamers, the XP laners. Fury Hammer, though, for Diablo could be enough damage to pump out a possible kill early on. Remember, too, he's got that Petrify. So on the flip side, both XP laners, top side again.
They're going at it.
They're going at it, man.
Blow for blow.
Gold lane, yeah. But they're going to start with the turtle finally. Again, keep an eye on both XP laners as they approach this, utilizing the Petrifies if they can. Cram waits patiently.
I'm offended. Locks on to Hades. Sekai's looking for the backside, trying to lock onto one, but he gets petrified, knocked off the wall. Tempest Blades does come down, able to get the kill onto Hades there. That's 1 down and a turtle. Sekai's able to secure it. SRG coming out on top in the fight.
Man, the timing here. I'm not sure if they're going to actually be able to force JPL down. They might want to.
Diablo may be able to help out, but Humes doesn't want to give it up. He's at least going to zone him away, and that's going to help out Cram here. SRG don't force it.
Man, going back again to that turtle fight, great timing from Cram to use that dragon form. That he lands the Petrify. They have enough CC to even just go ahead and handle Hades and then get the objective. So timings on the initiation. Here we go. We're going to look at the STC replay. This is what I'm talking about. Cram goes in, finds 2 targets, throws him in. Even JPL uses the wild charge, but flickers out. Unfortunately, they can't get that kill, but they get everything else they wanted for SRG.
Yeah, they're going to have to start thinking about this lane, man. Sekai's is a problem, and they don't have an answer, but Curtizi looking for the diversion once again, just like last time, except this time it's a different Creek camp. Innocent, though, onto him, pops a BMI. Looking for the dash over to Spear of Alpha connects. Innocent able to BMI away. Tempest of Blades comes down, knocks up Hades. Looking for the next target. Curtizi trying to run, trying to get away, but Sekai's won't let it happen today. Sekai's now maybe in a bad spot as well. Diablo, Vanex, locked off, but look at the damage. Diablo able to get the kill before Vanex drops, though. That's 2 for 1. Jungler for jungler, mid lane as well.
Oh, do they? I thought they wanted more, but man, talk about the mechanics on Innocent here. You know, going back to what we heard from Coach Arcadia.
Ooh, I'm offended. Followed up by the Blazing Duet. The trade happens, but Vanex finally goes down, and Innocent gets his revenge.
Oh, Diablo, who part of this fight. Again, Innocent with the mechanics here. Just great escape earlier on with the BMI, the way that he even used it to go ahead and spawn out that bush, that diversion play. So he'll be fine for now. Continue to farm up and just already makes up for, you know, that first blood that went over to Vanex earlier on. And now they find themselves with the second turtle up too. So, you know, these minor things for SRG gives them a very small lead ahead.
Oh, the positioning from Cram there, waiting for Hades to come back to his bush. And Sekai's dances over. They pick up the kill.
Again, it's just looking like NIP Flash is just kind of getting outplayed around the map. And part of that, too, is just this is what a Ling does. I'm surprised, again, Sekai's gets it because he's able to find his timings and movement around the map so well here. In conjunction with the fact that you have Cram on this Yu Zhong, it was a great last pick because the Yu Zhong and the Novaria allow you to go ahead and just spot things out across the map, whether that's with the Echo, whether that's with the Dragon form.
Even there, they don't even need the Retribution. They know they can secure the turtle. They use Sekai's to take the tier 3 on the bot side. I mean, SRG's rotations right now are just so clean all around the map.
I'm going to say it again, man. You know, I'm sorry I said it earlier about the Alpha, but this is looking like what we saw back, you know, with a familiar team. He's struggling right now. 0-3, has not been able to do much at all for Hades this time around. And it's looking grim already, and the reason why I say that is because if Alpha doesn't have a good start, he naturally falls off, you know, towards the mid to late game transition. So when you have a tough start in the beginning, you really have to rely on the team here. Looking at the items, he's only got the War Axe. You have a Berserker's Fury and a Haas Claws over on the other side. Look at the gap. You know, 1,000 gold ahead too for Sakai's, and that is going to play a part in even the next objective. So still, you know, you have to, like I said, you have to rely on the rest of the team to really pick things up here for NIP.
All right, so NIP. Oh, nice wild charge. Trying to pick things up like you said, but the damage comes in from Nooms. Big I'm offended. Pulse 2 into the blazing duet. And now JPL in a little bit of trouble, but Sekai's the sky. Rains down upon him, but Sakai still goes down. Diablo able to get the kill. It's 4 for 1. NIP in trouble.
That's a trade you're going to take any day. A 4 for 1 trade. And still, Cram going to go ahead and battle it out with Diablo here. He gets taken down. Skypiercer's going to go ahead and proc too. So Diablo gets one, but man, talk about an exchange from SRG. Not sure if Diablo can do much more other than clear the lane. Looks like, again, a diversion's going to be used to just get in position, but they're 15 seconds away from the Lord here.
15 seconds from a big push from either team. Most likely SRG will have positioning over it. We've seen possibilities from NIP, but even when they get the big knock-up, even when they're able to make a play happen, SRG responds so well, and Humes, Vanex taken down as well. He got his 1v1 back-to-back now. Innocent for Vanex, back and forth.
Innocent, a beast himself. I mean, he got the one down earlier on, then is now 4-1. Diablo, though.
Diablo, look for the 1v1 himself. Tempest of Blades does come down. Diablo able to eye for an eye away. Out of the damage, but Sekai still on the chase. And it's hard to run from a Ling, but wait, is this going to be the outplay? Oh. Sekai smells it in the air. He gets away.
How does he keep getting the Ling? I mean, he's doing things like this, and it looks like, too, they just went ahead and started up the Lord, and they take it with Innocent.
Ooh, so much damage on Hades. Hades trying to get away with the Spear of Alpha, but Cram still gets the kill with the passive.
Oh,
now Kurt.
Cutting it close. Kurt. But, man, SRG, just like we saw previously, this is their power play. This is their movements that they make time and time again from what we've seen from them. And just patiently waiting. Sakai's has done this multiple times. And you're wondering, what can NIP Flash do to stay in the game? We're only 10 minutes in. Lord pushing down the bottom side. These tier 2s are going to fall. Diablo stays up on the top to try to keep that wave from pushing in. But these buffs are all going to go in the hands of Sakai's here. Good damage, though.
Oh, they just missed Stormy. JPL's going to go down for that one. Sakai's with another kill. And now Lord's still coming. They can send Stormy back. It's okay.
That was a little desperate, you know, from JPL. It's kind of like, you know, you try to get at least something. Shields are going to pop, and now the Lord is here on the bottom side. Look at Humes. Look at the positioning. Zoning them out completely. They're afraid of the I'm Offended.
Ooh, and there's the I'm Offended. Speaking of it, Hades gets a Spear of Alpha, brings a bunch of them back, and Diablo strikes back with a double kill. Cram, Humes down for the price of nothing. NIP able to defend now. They lose an inhibitor, and here comes a diversion play. They're going to try to lock onto another member. Stormy onto the tier 3. They get the Petrify. They get the kill. And now they find some answers. Innocent, though, comes in with Blazing Duet, finds Vanex. Curteasy goes down next. Innocent with the double. He gets shut down from Diablo. Sekai's now in a weird position. Needs to go for the tower. Maybe even needs to get out of here.
Man, talk about Diablo. The saving grace here for NIP Flash. He's 7-0 right now. And this is literally, as we look at the STC replay, great positioning. This is already after he got multiple kills. Good attempt from Innocent to get what he can, but Diablo right now, the damage is there, and this is why they wanted that Benedetta. Because, man, it's almost to the point where, all right, I've got to put this on my shoulders. We've seen him do it time and time before in his past. He's got that Blade of FCs, he's got Skypiercer, and the Blade of Despair. That's enough to be able to pump out all that damage. But if he gets taken out, man, do you lose so much fighting power with NIP Flash right now. You need so much more time for them to catch up. Because, again, it's only 3 items here for Vanex, and look at the fight for the resources.
Sakai's back to the backside once again. Curtizi goes down. Next might just be JPL, but the Blazing Duet able to shred things away. Innocent finds JP. Vanex, Curtizi, 3 members down, make it 4 as Sakai cleans up the pieces. Diablo tries to save it all, but he can't. Innocent with a double. It's a full 5-man wipe.
Oh, it's a full 5-man wipe, and I think they're just going to go ahead and run it down mid lane. They tried to fight, but it's just too much of a lead for SRG.
NIP. The rumbling is upon us. The Titans are here, and the Giants take game number 2.
The Giants are upon us. The rumbling. As NIP Flash feels the brute force of this lineup time and time again, whether it be the Sky Prince, whether it just be Yumes, any of these members here, Innocent as well, even after going down early on in the game, comes back just massively on this Claude, even able to outplay that initiation from Diablo earlier on with that Wind of Nature. They're just looking too good here, and right now it's a lot to be said. Match point is what they're facing, but let's go ahead and throw it over to the panel to have them break it down.
I mean, where do we start? I kind of just want to go to the end, that clean wipeout at the end of the game that just solidifies it. Like, this is amazing, but Diablo as well. I kind of feel like this Benedetta, we got to watch out for that one.
He's kind of a beast, I'm not going to lie. Like, there was a moment in the game where he nearly 1v3'd the entire backline, and if he was successful in doing so, probably would have bought an extra 2 to 3 minutes for the entirety of NIP Flash. But I think that, the biggest concern right now is the later stages of the game for this squadron. It looks like, time and time again, Vanex is really having a hard time against SRG.
I think it was the draft. I think, honestly, with the Yuzhong last pick, the choice to go for the Alpha, it's probably like at the bottom of my list. When you're looking at playing up against a Claude and a Novaria, you definitely have to have some dive. Obviously, you have the Benedetta for that one, right? But it proves to be not enough in this case. And there was a looming problem of this Bruno. This has a timer. Bruno will almost win almost all of the early game, but he has to win the early game. He has to dominate the early game.
I mean, when we're talking about a draft, now NIP Flash doesn't have a lot of time because it's match point. It's 2-0. SRG needs one more win to make history. Malaysia going to the grand finals. That's something big. And NIP Flash, I'm pretty sure they want to stop that one. Innocent has the highest goal per minute, and Stormy dealt the most amount of damage, and he had the most assists.
Yeah, no, I have to give it to Stormy because I don't know if it's like a team game sense or great communication, but the fact that he is identifying exactly when these diversions are coming out and even calling them with the Astral Echo is a huge play, because it only happened twice where it's like, oh, we got flanked. Luckily, we got out of there one time. The other time, man, they never got away with it again.
Novaria against Loyi, that is definitely the answer. I think we've seen this first in MSC group stages coming from Fireflux Esports when they utilized that Astral Echo against Loyi. Not all teams can easily do that, but SRG is a team that knows how to utilize this Novaria, support it with the Yuzhong, and totally you counter the Luyi presence.
I mean, again, he's a prodigy, man. Stormy is a prodigy. Speaking of which, it's good game sense coming in from everyone, because I still remember there was a play where Skies, the Sky Prince was chasing after Diablo, the devil, and it's like, wait, something suspicious here. You're very low, and yet I don't feel you're afraid.
Yeah,
dude, he called that diversion play. That was amazing.
Honestly, it's one of those things where it's like outer world sense. It's like, the Spidey senses are tingly, and I gotta start backing away. And I probably think that he probably communicated with Stormy to say, hey, maybe they could be in there. Let's just move on over just in case.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of good communications between the members of SRG. Speaks to their synergy as well. Yeah. Apart from the fact that the draft will be very easy for them to execute, all they had to do was to be very patient. Even when there are a lot of invasions that was done by the Alpha as well as the Luyi in the early stages of the game, all you have to do is do not overextend. You cannot fix your farm right now, but if you become patient, wait for your timings, give up one buff, okay, but move on and do not give up to your life so that you can still farm up afterwards. After back-to-back games, I think that they're the masters of this kind of gameplay.
honestly, this match has been amazing. Could you show us more with the telestrator? Can Bob help you out by showing us what happened in the game?
Yeah, we can see it in the, I think this is the second turtle of the game. Most importantly for Hades, he waited for his level 7 to come up, which eventually he did. So you're going to be wondering, oh, this is actually the first turtle, right? 3 minutes and 50 seconds, first turtle of the game, because they try to delay it, actually. So if you look back at the tape, you're going to find out that Hades was waiting for his level 7 so that he's 1 level ahead of Sekai's. But what SRG was able to achieve after this is going to be the way that they approach team fights, which is to go onto Hades. Hades is a utility jungler. So when he's already outside of their own box, remember the box for utility junglers, utility jungler setup, you can be gone upon. And this is Yumes with unlimited, essentially unlimited amount of lockdown. You have Stormy with a limited amount of poke, and obviously one combo from the Yuzhong is already enough to put Hades low. And now he's desperate enough to put himself in danger once again, getting taken out, giving up Sekai's this turtle uncontested. So was it a mistake for NIP Flash going up against SRG in this scenario? I think it is. I think that they should have just rushed the turtle as soon as they can, especially in the first 2 minutes of the game. The moment that they waited for one item to be available for Cram or for Yumes, for example, or Sekai's, most importantly, that is when the problems arose.
I think it begs the question, right? How decisive is NIP Flash in these like really close moments, especially moment-to-moment gameplays? Because even when we saw from Bob, we saw the Diablo using the Petrify quite early to knock Sekai's off of the wall to try and limit his influence over stealing away the Lord. But at the same time, SRG, they spotted that and they started pushing forward and pushed them off the turtle entirely. So I think as of right now, even if it isn't just the draft, at the very least gameplay-wise, they need to be, well, as you've all been memeing this entire tournament, together.
I mean, like, here's the thing. You got to watch our Sony MVP, and it's going to be Yumes, the roamer, coming in from Selangor Red Giants. And let's talk about his plays as well. A lot of engagement tools coming in from Yumes. And again, he's been on the international scene for how many times now? Before this with Dota, but now with Selangor Red Giants.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of highlights from Yumes, especially this is indeed the first turtle where they were able to punish Hades and then piggyback off of that. There will be another play where Yumes as well as Cram will combo together to take out Hades once again in the mid game, which I think is such a thing of beauty, and he's willing to kind of sacrifice himself as the Ruby, as a position 5 to eventually give it for a team. And can I just say that it is fair to assume that Yumes has, ever since he went to Red Giants, like always always been criticized, right? Because of in TikTok usually because of the plays. Coach K just said that he looked at Yumes not because of the fails he was able to do, but because of what he's able to achieve in the international stage. The rough translation is, look at what he's doing right instead of focusing on what he was doing wrong. Or when he fails an initiation, for example, when he's TikTokable because of the bad plays that he's doing. Never mind that. Look at what he's able to achieve for the team. Look at how good of a veteran he is, and look at what he's doing correctly for a team composition.
I think the truth of the matter is the fact that Coach Arcadia doesn't really tunnel vision on that mistakes and saw the entirety of what this player is capable of. The real question is, can I build a team that actually keeps up with him?
Yeah. Well, he did.
Dude, like, here's the thing. We got to talk about Diablo, man, because Diablo tried his very best in that game. But again, it's still very difficult going up against SRG, where got to talk about Innocent the Beast against Ruler of the Underworld, Diablo. I got to say, man, in terms of looking at SRG, I'm having a tough time pinpointing where's the weak spot, right? Where do you attack to make SRG crumble?
I think it's a step-by-step process, right? I think, first of all, when it comes to their gameplay, they really need to solidify their calls. Secondly, as Wolf has mentioned before, the drafts have not really been benefiting too many people. Usually, okay, Diablo gets a really good pick. You saw in that game, even if he's 7-0, he's unable to carry the whole team on his back.
And now we got to look at the redemption to domination. Let's talk about Innocent as well as Hades here. Again, like, Innocent, before he came in, everyone was like, Selangor Giants, what are you doing? Why are you picking up this guy?
Yeah, I think Innocent is... I think the way that Coach Arcadia also described Innocent is that he actually wasn't very much impressed with Innocent. It's just like, Innocent has not been in a team that can actually activate him, and it kind of feels like SRG is going to be the team that was able to really make Innocent shine. And boy, he is shining. I remember this Harith game where he was able to get like 3 solo pickups. And it's really, really calm.
I hate the fact that he's so calm. It's honestly really scary when he's calm, because in a lot of these moments, even when you start to believe like maybe somebody needs to beat him in lane, right? But then you see how he plays team fights, and it's even more dangerous. And then we jump back over to people who are diving the back line like Diablo, right? And even then, the margins are extremely thin.
Now we got to talk about Hades, though, because again, we've seen Hades, if he doesn't do well with the damage dealers, he's going to go back to his utility. And again, a lot of plays coming in from Hades.
Yeah, kid from Pasay, not scared to pick up the Amon, not scared to pick up something like a Guinevere, which survives death many times, and also initiate for his team. I think that in order for NIP Flash to reactivate Hades in this game, they have to bring out the assassins, or maybe just... I think the idea of last picking the Hades hero is actually pretty good in a way that you now adjust whether he should be going to the utility or the damage assassin junglers. However, it's just that last game that I find, or even actually last 2 games, which I find really questionable. If you look back at how they approach Homeboys, that's actually good. Like, they pick up assassins first 3 games, and then what, Guinevere and another utility jungler, which I can actually forgot.
The Barats.
The Barats, right? So that was good adjustment, and actually the draft made a lot of sense. In the first 2 games, going up against SRG, the Aamon is a questionable pick. So much is the alpha, so I believe that the first step, they got it, they nailed it to put Hades on the last pick. However, they are choosing the wrong heroes, unfortunately.
Well, I think that even if they are choosing the wrong heroes, it's a give and take, right, in the draft. You can't win every single thing
That's
in the world.
true.
And I think that, like, there's a high priority on Diablo, and I think, Vanix, at this point of time, is... Well, I don't want to say that he's surrendering to the lane, but I definitely think that they need to start controlling these lanes better and making sure that at least from that mid lane onwards, right, where exactly are they going to look for the big capital punishments?
I love, now that you brought up Vanix, I love how SRG is challenging the hero pool of Vanix in many ways. For example, game number 1, they banned Roger, or they let the Roger be banned, and then
but with that being said, we got to look at what Eterna as well as Weezy has to say in this video.
Hey everyone, it's Eterna here at the Amazon Arena with Weezy, as well as our fellow cosplayer, the famous cosplayer Keiko, and she is here dressed as Aurora. Which skin are you dressed as right now?
It's Nature's Throne revamp skin.
Oh, it looks good. Do you play Aurora a lot?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I gotta ask you, for Aurora, who would you say is the best player for MSC 2024 on her?
I mean, it's Stormy for sure from SRG.
Ooh, Stormy.
Okay. I mean, he's up there right now performing, so he needs the support, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, we need to ask Keiko right now, do you have any moves that Aurora does that you can show us? Yeah. Okay, let's see. That's
wow.
so cool!
That was like spot on. Honestly, I almost froze in my tracks. Eterna, do you have an Aurora skill you can show us as well?
I guess I can try to do what you did, right? I'll try myself. Okay, Was that close?
It's close enough.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was frozen in my tracks with that one as well. Thank you so much, Keiko, spending your time with us today. Amazing outfit. I definitely got to get some cosplay tips from you guys. Enjoy the show. Shout out to your favorite teams, and let's continue that strive for MSC 2024.
Shout out to Keiko. Shout out to Aurora. Now, let me tell you guys, us on the panel, we have practice for this. We know how to be like Aurora, and you guys don't even need to see us, all right? You guys just need to hear us. 3, 2, 1, with a crown, fool. And there you go. We just did the passive.
Thank you.
You guys don't even need to see it. You guys just know.
With a crown, fool.
With a crown, fool.
It happens. It happens. Every single time, most people kind of forget what her passive is. Same goes for Nana even most of the time.
Exactly.
But I think it's time we go into the draft. And once again, the fact that NIP Flash is going to be on that blue side, it feels like they've got something going for them, because blue side has been, well, I would say a little bit better than red.
Ruby as the first ban. That's interesting. You can see the reaction coming up from SRG. they laughed, essentially.
You know,
I felt like, yeah, they feel Yums now.
I feel like this might be Yoom's second pick, the Cho.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, look at him. He's excited for sure. I think he's like, thank goodness you banned it, because if not, I have to use it again.
I mean, the fact that they're banning out the Ling, this could also open up the opportunities for maybe one of the dangerous gold laners to come out. Maybe Harith in this case, and if Harith comes out, I'm expecting Yums to play something along the lines of Kaja. If we do see the Roger come out, then it's anybody's guess at this point.
Yeah, that's why the red side is so good, because you kind of can dictate this. Because, for example, the Ling and the Ruby being banned by NIP Flash, that threatens the potential Harith and the Roger, which they can also control. Because now, I don't know if NIP Flash should be giving up the Louis, because it kind of feels like SRG, what they are going to do is to open Harith, Roger, and Louis. Then they get 2 out of those 2 good heroes, which is going to happen right now. So, this Angela ban from NIP Flash, that's difficult to... that's a desperation ban from NIP Flash, I feel like.
I mean, I don't know. Personally, for me, I feel like the Angela ban, especially when you're on the blue side, I don't think it's the greatest idea in the world. And for the most part of it, we need to start thinking about enablers, right? At the same time, it always is more beneficial to be able to like counter-pick it on the red side rather than having to first pick it on blue.
Yeah.
At the same time, I do agree with you. I think that the Loyi kind of really diverts the way that NIP Flash has to play the earlier stages of the game before they get flanked out of nowhere.
Won't be surprised if both Roger and the 3 will be both open. That's Harith, Roger, and Louis. And they are
the Martis. Interesting.
Oh yeah, that's it, right? Roger, Harith, Louis are open. So NIP Flash, they're gonna get one of those 3, and then SRG will get 2 of the better picks. You know, that's pretty smart, actually.
That's genius.
It's genius.
That's like Albert Einstein level.
Yeah.
Man,
okay, maybe too much.
I mean, considering that like a majority of the players are already a prodigy in their own role, I would say that even the coaches honestly deserve it as well.
Okay, so there is an argument though that you can pick up the Cho already in this case, like maybe Cho Harith or
Louis, Cho Louis.
Yeah, but Louis Harith is scary.
True.
And then you're just playing the Rogers, which you don't want to be in that spot. That's gonna be very difficult. I think the next best thing for SRG, maybe pick up the Valentina early, so that's like Valentina Harith that they can take.
And now we got to look at the game fact here. SRG boasts a lower control rate of 80.7%, second only to TLPH 81.5%, and MSC 2024, which is a pretty impressive number to consider. Harith, Valentina. So they don't even want the Louis.
Yep.
Interesting. I mean, this is one of the few times that Valentina actually makes it through through the ban system, right? Most of the time, blue side has been consistently getting rid of it from playoff stage, even from groups. We were seeing a couple. She was like banned out, what, 73% of the time?
Yeah. Do you want? I think you want to go Cho now if you're NIP Flash. Take it away.
Benedetta as well.
Benedetta, yeah. Cho Benedetta, probably for NIP Flash. Apart from that, what else do you take? Do you even pick up the Minotaur just so they can support your Roger?
But then the Valentina though.
Exactly. Actually, at this rate, so they pick up the Farsight instead. I love it, actually.
Yeah,
I think I'm fine with this as well. I can agree that at least with the Farsa, you kind of... Well, even though it's not as good as a Minotaur per se, at least it definitely forces Harith to really think about when he drops down that Zaman Force and whether or not he can close the distance in time.
Okay, this is probably Hayabusa for SRG. I am hoping that it will be Hayabusa, but at the same time, the Yu Zhong is such a good pick for SRG. Counters the Farsa, counters the Roger in many, many ways.
I agree.
They can also go for the Grok as well, just to have the classics.
Honestly, that's true. And again, Nolan is up there as well. Sakai's can use that. I don't think it's a third pickable kind of hero. But Fanny, though! Casters, you guys are watching Valentina, Harith, as well as Fanny as the opener for Selangor Giants. How does this make you guys feel?
Hey, I saw that Fanny locked in and I was fist pumping here, man. I like to see it, especially now that SRG's at match point. What a way to go out in style here if they are able to sweep.
I like the Fanny, but I would like to see a game 4, possibly 5. So we'll see. I like NIP's draft. I think the Roger take was very clean in the beginning. No Lu Yi picked from either side or banned is still very, very crazy for me. And there's Badang?
I mean, it's a Diablo special, man. It's a Diablo special.
I mean, to be fair, Diablo is notorious for having some off picks, and also when it comes down to damage dealers too.
No, remember, it was Diablo on the Badang that 1v1 the Fanny.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, the clip!
Yeah.
That happened. That was lore accurate.
Yeah. That was lore accurate. But with that being said, right, it does mean that the EXP lane is still pretty up in the air. They're getting rid of a lot of the standards here, but I think maybe just getting rid of the Benedetta is probably a good idea just to kind of limit down the pool.
Yeah. Which also begs the question, do you want to pick up the Phobius for NIP Flash just to counteract this Harith as well as this Fanny?
And the Valentina, honestly.
Yeah, because of the double dash too. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good ults to steal already within that first phase.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like for NIP Flash, they just need to make sure that Cortese's Feathered Airstrike, he's able to scale and most likely is able to get all of his shots out.
Oh, the Minzitar. Oh, of course.
Oh, very good. You know what? Smart.
Very, very smart.
Very smart.
Honestly, right now, Caster is looking at the bans here. Betting on the Badam, betting on the Minzitar, betting on the Terizla. A lot of EXP bans. How, like, do you guys think this is a good idea?
Yeah, I think it's what'd you say earlier? Albert Einstein smart. It's around that area of IQ.
It's smart.
Yeah, that works too. I'm wondering at last ban though, you know, from NIP Flash. I think, especially with the Cho pick here, assuming it's going to go in the hands of JPL, man. After what we saw from Game 1, this is almost a step-up game for JPL in order to get them to another game to extend the series. I feel like.
Yeah, I think they took the right measures to give JPL a decent game this time, taking out the Ruby, taking out some of those obstacles that have been in his way so far. So, I mean, NIP, now that they're on the ropes, this is their last shot, so they're going to have to feel comfortable with this.
And I think at the very least, for NIP Flash, there's no other good bans. Just stick to the standards here, right? Get rid of the Grok. They knew that the Arlet is eventually going to get let through.
Yeah. I think we're left with Yuzhong and Guinevere, I feel like, will be the last two picks here for NIP Flash. Apart from that, an outlier may be, of course the Benedetta should be considered by NIP Flash. An outlier may be Glue, actually, which was traditionally picked against Harith and the Fanny. Not at the same time though, because you only can counter one of them at a given point in time. So that could be an outlier. But if you're NIP Flash, you're playing elimination game, you pick up Benedetta and Guinevere, so that you at least get your best heroes.
I'm wondering whether or not NIP Flash is considering maybe we should like peel it back, right? Because we already have two dedicated cores. Yep, the Baxia is already in.
The Khalid!
The classics, baby!
Dude, Diablo has a lot in his pocket, man.
Yeah. Whew. I don't know if that actually...
Give a bit more reaction. Wolf's like, whoa!
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, I'm very excited, but how does it kill anyone at this point?
I think it's just
with
trying
the
to
right
combo.
mindset.
Not with this mindset, obviously.
Yeah.
Not with my mindset. Oh, man.
You need a Diablo mindset to kill people with this Khalid, man. Yeah. It's lore accurate that Khalid fought against Valentina in the MSC song and he won.
That's
I didn't think of it that way, actually.
That's true, right? Even the caster is like, yeah, that's true.
I think you go Paquito now for SRG.
I think Paquito's not that bad here, but at the end of the day, yeah, you still have the Arlet. It was flexible.
Yeah, with that being said, thank you very much, analysts, for the breakdown. Casters, we got the Sky Prince on the Fanny, and we got the Singaporean Devil with the Khalid. How are we feeling? We're throwing it over to you guys.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're feeling pretty good about it. It's a lineup that I would say is going to bring a lot to this game, Trex. What do you feel about it?
I think NIP brings an aggressive early game possibility here. You have the Khalid. Yes, it can't really exactly kill anyone like Wolf said, but what it can do is if you try to invade early on, if you bring that EXP, you try to steal purples away from this Fanny, you have some ways to do that. The Cho and the Khalid do give an answer to try to take a lot from that Fanny.
Well, one thing's for sure, too. It can be lore accurate, like LaFell said, but it's twice now that the Giants have overcome and triumphed the Ninjas in Pajamas, and twice has the Sky Prince vanquished the King of the Underworld. Can NIP Flash extend this series further, or will they bow out of the Mid-Season Cup? We'll find out here once again as rotations get started. Look at this early aggression already. It's going to force Stormy.
I told you. That's what you. I mean, that's what you do, man. He's got some of the biggest. Wait a second. Is this a? No, it is an EXP.
Oh.
Just for a second, I saw him in the middle. I was like, is this like a? Oh, Second Heist goes down. JPL, first blood, baby. That's huge.
We saw
for
JPL
NIP.
step up.
Step up, JPL. What does he do?
Steps up.
He steps up.
Gets first blood against this guy, Prince.
He pulled up. He manned up.
He did.
But now Diablo having a little trouble.
Yeah, well,
and he's a level down.
I was going to say, he kind of had to sacrifice a little bit of that to go and put that kind of pressure on slowing down Sakai. So I still feel like mission accomplished there for NIP Flash at this point in the game, still very early on. A lot of concussive blasts, by the way, you know, from this lineup here that we're seeing from NIP Flash. So they really want to go ahead and use that to push. Here we go, 82 unique heroes already for MSC 2024. Cram has to flicker out.
Ooh, Curtiz able to use a flicker. Diablo might not be able to get away so cleanly. Goes down Sakai's, able to get some revenge. JPL gets a knockup, but dances back. It's 1-1 right now.
All right. I love the point from Innocent, by the way, after that all happened, because you know that's the thing. You give a lot to deal with Sakai's early on. But then he goes and gets himself a kill. So that kind of negates what that early pressure did. It might have slowed him down a little bit, but he's able to go ahead and get a kill, start to build up here.
Sakai's also just uses Retribution. He's got 20 seconds left, 5 seconds left for Turtle. NIP could try to rush this Turtle, with JPL finally having some freedom to dance around in the enemy jungle. It's going to give NIP a little bit more vision. It's going to give him a little bit more space to play around. Feathered Airstrike does come down. Yume's brought down to about 20%. Oh. Sekai's, though, deletes him. Curtiz gone. All for the price of a Turtle. 1-1? 1-1?
1-1? I would say, you know, this is better for Sakai's, though. On a Fanny, you want this. And now they're going to force JPL out. This is the coverage he needs. He makes the calls, guys, come on. I need backup here. I got to secure my purple buff to be able to go ahead and pop off on this Fanny.
Ooh, Stormy with the IMU. Clean getaway.
Yeah, great escape there. But all of this, once again, the game plan for SRG is to allow Sakai's to get what he needs on the Fanny. Meanwhile, on the other lanes, it's just, you know, go ahead and farm up, do your thing. And so as we look at the items fall into place, the first items aren't locked in just yet, but you got those boots now coming there. In part of this, too, you have arcane boots here for Curtiz. I think the guys on the panelist stand talked about the Farsa pick, how part of that, it's going to be a Feathered Airstrike battle. I mean, let's be honest. We did see Stormy go ahead and get out there with the Khalid ultimate, but most of this is going to be Feathered Airstrike for Feathered Airstrike. Who's able to pump out enough damage early on for then Sakai's to sweep in. But, two, you can see this. The focus is on Innocent. He might have to, he should be okay. Feathered Airstrike going to be used.
Innocent able to drop his Mon's Force, going to get knocked up from the way of the dragon, taking out Vanex, able to get the kill. Sakai shows up a little bit late to the part, but still finds Vanex. Hades now with the response, a lot of damage onto Stormy. JPL there to help out. Unable to get the knockup with the Shumpo, with the Chi Do. It's 1-for-1 right now, gold laner for gold laner.
Good trading going on here. Like you mentioned, too, for the gold laners, that's kind of what they have to deal with what can happen with both the lineups here from both NIP Flash and SRG is sandwiching in under the turret. That can happen time and time again. Again, we're talking about Hades being on this box show. Rotation's going to be great. JPL has the Way of the Dragon available now at this point with the flicker. So at this point, before this turtle comes up, you might want to start looking for a pick. Purple buff's going to go ahead and be secured here by Sakai, is always having Yumes there by his side now to go ahead and make sure he gets that. This might be one of the first, oh, hold on, bottom.
Innocent once again, a beautiful kick, but in comes Sekai's to help out. Unable to get enough damage.
Oh.
Vanex trying to get the outplay. He's dancing.
Sakai?
He's playing, and Sekai's has to run. Look at the health bars, but it's still not enough. But wait a second, Raging Sandstorm to help respond against that Minoan's Fury, but Hades still goes down.
Oh, that's got to be frustrating. I mean, even with the few kills that he's got himself, he couldn't cap out on those at the bottom lane. But again, relying on the team here, SRG, this is what they do. They're all stars on this team. Oh, Final Slash going to be used. Cram, I don't think he can get the kill, but Stormy.
Oh, God. Diablo able to use the flicker. Can he get the dance back? They're dancing. Diablo, though, able to get the first skill. The spin falls down. Stormy able to get the kill. But now Vanex finds Yumes. Feathered Airstrike to zone them all the way, and a turtle goes over to NIP. They are trading blow for blow right now.
Are they going to be a Cram?
Ooh, the Hal. He finds him in the bush.
Ooh, finds him in the bush just like that. there's just so much trading going on here. First, we have the exchange, the team fights up top. That was for the turtle. Now you have that bottom tier 1 going down. That's secured now for SRG. So objectively, you know, they're trading across the map, really trying to snowball once again the lineup here. Stormy also still sitting on the 2 kills, hasn't gone down yet, is going to be scaling up pretty well once we also get a look at the items on what they're going here, the build path. But finally also turret secured now for NIP Flash. And really, it's up to that. There you go. You already have that Blade of Hepsises here now for Sakai's. You have also the Starlium Scythe now online for Innocent. And meanwhile, you know, on the other side, it's just you got the wings. You don't have too much defense just yet across the board. And I think part of that too is what build path does Diablo go on at this Khalid? We haven't seen it in a while, but we know that it can actually pump out quite a bit of damage.
A little bit of fun fact, Hades has the most unique heroes, that being 9 among all junglers. Well, Sekai's is number 2 with 6 unique heroes. NIP, man, I mean, both these teams really, we've seen so much variety from both of them. JPL, though, able to get the way of the dragon, connects. A lot of damage coming down for that airstrike to continue. Cram falls to Diablo. Sekai's, though, trying to get a lot of damage. Already used the cutthroat, but dances through, finds Diablo, Innocent, able to get the kill with his Zaman's Force. Hades now trying to zone them away, create some space, 1-for-1 once again.
1-for-1. It's going to be a constant back and forth. Vanix is going to go in.
And they get a second. Vanix does get delayed here. He's looking for the Lycan Pounce. He's looking for a few more shots, but Yume's able to pull him away.
Oh, man. Stormy actually able to escape that, too. They still might fight this, though. Trex. Sakai's goes in.
They just keep going. Sekai's uses the cut throw, unable to get the full kill. Vanix finds a shot, but it's a trade. Killing spree, shut down, mega kill. Vanix falls. It's 2-for-1, though. NIP comes out on top.
Talk about a battle between these two. Even though it's match point for SRG, NIP Flash does not want it to end in a sweep, and they are showing it here with their spirit of fighting onward. And now if they can go ahead and secure themselves this 3rd turtle of the game, they're going to be off to a great start once again to lead into that objective once the Lord's up. Sakai's has to get his purple buff, so that's just going to be a turtle now for NIP Flash. Great, again, great momentum in their favor here.
Ooh, he kicks him the wrong way.
Yeah, power of the flicker, you know? Sakai's
though into the backside, gets a lot of damage on a Kurt TZ. But we're starting to see the damage fade just a little bit. Look at JPL, though, dancing through 4 members, takes a final slash to the face. Yume's able to get them no one's Fury, does not connect, but JPL still goes down. Stormy with the IMU Sandstorm, trying to lock onto somebody. But look at Sekai's, man, he's playing these lanes so well.
Yeah, he's playing these lanes well. Also, again, fighting for these buffs. Really, Cram just trying to put some pressure there. Tethered airstrike going to be dropped down.
Sekai's trying to lock onto Diablo this time. Diablo gets under the tower, gets the heal back. Kurt TZ there now. Get a nice stun onto Cram. Vanix, wolf form, looking for a target. NIP decides not to fully engage.
I feel like this game has just been a constant battle. You know, it's constant skirmishes, constant fights here. You love to see it. Also, once again, Conceal going to be used. JPL?
Doesn't stop. Big kick. Way of the Dragon. Yumes goes down. Innocent now on the run. Zaman's Force drops. He can't engage.
All right.
All right, you can talk now.
Let's take a breath here because, yeah, every time you start to go, the conceal is going to be used. But this is good because JPL, like I said, he had to get to this point in this game. The guy has struggled a bit from game 1 to game 2, and now finally he's just here to make these plays. Even if sometimes it's just to get the space to work with for NIP Flash to follow up, this is all great timing as well for Vanix to build up on this Roger pick. Again, they prioritize this in the draft. And he's got the Endless Battle now, too. So that's locked in. You've got the Glowing Wand now for Curtizi. It helps with some of that sustain being thrown at them from Yumes. Yumes has that Flask of the Oasis. So these heals are something that NIP Flash has to work through. Mid lane again.
Another big knock-up. JPL with another way. The Dragon able to connect onto Cram. Taking out Hades. Finds the kill. Stormy forced to back up. Yumes can't make a play happen just yet. NIP are winning out in the skirmishes, but they need to start translating it to some towers. They're even losing out a tower on the boss side right now. Lord up. Are they going to be forced to just take this and lose that?
Again, they got to control the macro game as well. JPL half health here.
Innocent taking a lot of damage. Able to go down. Vanix picks up the kill. No one's Fury does connect on to 3 or 4. Diablo, though, doesn't care. He finds Yumes. It's 2 down on the side of SRG. Sakai's looking for the response. Stormy with the IMU. Feathered air strike. Sakai's dancing back and forth, but the damage isn't there like it was in the early game. JPL in trouble. The cutthroat. Sakai's gets away safely. But Vanex is shoving down onto this Lord right now. Cram trying to find an angle, trying to find a stun, maybe one big final slash to clear things up, and he finds it, connects onto Curteezy. Curteezy trying to run away, but he's in trouble. Cram goes down. Vanex shows up. Vanex finds the kill. Vanex now onto the Lord.
But he got him low enough. Sakai's gonna do it.
Cakes Hades. But Vanex still stands tall. Sakai's is low. Innocent able to steal the Lord with his launch force in one shot to take the game back into their hands.
SRG, how do they juggle all that around and get the timing down for then whittle down? We're gonna look at the STC replay, and this was just great timing, great decision making from SRG, relying on each other. Even with Sakai's at less than half health, Cram went in, does a ton of damage, allows Sakai's to get them here at this point, and look how much the Lord hurts too. Finds Hades, gets him down, and that's all he had to do, and then Innocent comes back from being taken out earlier on and gets the Lord. Talk about a masterful choreography from SRG.
That was a beautiful dance indeed. Sakai's now coming in, but no one's able to connect. Vanex finally falls, and that is huge for SRG. Both damage dealers off the map. Hades now on the run. Tier 3 on the mid, gone. SRG trying to advance. A nice kick, a nice way the Dragon comboed up with the Raging Sandstorm. Cram taking off the map. Innocent now on the run as well. But look at Sekai's in the bottom lane. He's always macroing. He's always microing. He's a man to do it all.
He's the Sky Prince for a reason. And now, once again, Lord making its way down the bottom. They want these shields all down in the base turrets. And they're going to try to keep it together as long as they can. NIP Flash on the defense.
All right. Vanex back up. Innocent able to take the inhibitor on the mid side. SRG is going to back off. They got what they came for. They crack an inhibitor at 12 minutes, and that's huge.
Okay, it looks like that's all that SRG is going to be able to get. Conceal going to be used again for JPL. They might go for a pick.
They just keep going. Yume's going to get Way of the Dragon back. Vanex going to connect, and Vanex finds the kill. That's 30 seconds of the clock for Yumes.
Yumes was literally like, okay, I think this is good. I think we can go back to base here. And JPL's like, nope, not happening. Goes and finds a pickoff. Now, ultimately, yeah, that's a kill for them. But by the time, they find themselves once again, we're still a minute away from the Lord. Yumes will be back up. And so really you have to kind of look at this. What happened to that momentum they had? NIP going to find another setup possibly.
Jumps into the bush. Cram though with a nice final slash connects onto Vanex. Vanex able to get the kill. Sekai's looking for an angle, trying to connect onto Vanex. Vanex able to just play away, but still fall. Stormy finds it. JPL is next to drop.
Sakai!
And it's Diablo up against Sekai's. But a Sky Prince stands tall. The Demon King cannot defend. Sekai's back. Hades all alone up against 4.
Oh no, are they gonna end it here off of that?
SRG looking for the finish here, looking for a few more shots. Hades down, and 4 members jump onto the base. SRG grab the pen of fate and write their own history.
Unbeaten, untarnished for over 100 days. They are poised to conquer the Causeway and etch their names in history as they advance to the grand finals. The Giants prove themselves true giants here.
Titans.
I
guess the rumbling is here. They've got one more big obstacle, but who would have thought they could make it this far? SRG undefeated. Champions almost.
Champions almost, but still history being made. Hats off as well to NIP Flash, man. They made it this far. It's been so long since they got to top 4, but unfortunately it was not enough. They ran out of gas in the tank to go against the undefeated team over 100 days, man. And there's a reason why. Look how they flipped this game in their favor.
I mean, just monsters, man. We thought this was going to be a 5 game. SRG shows up in 3-0's NIP Flash, guaranteeing Malaysia at least a number 2 worldwide, at least a number 2 region. I mean, and they've had rough years so far. Look how far they've come.
Just amazing to see, again, the journey of both these teams, what they've accomplished, where they've been. The drafts here, this has to be both of these teams' favorite drafts I've seen so far up to this point. Again, bringing us to a record high of unique heroes utilized as well. And again, it's just they got one more giant ahead of them to deal with, and that's the defending world champions, Falcons AP Bren. At this point, seeing this, who knows what tomorrow's going to be. Maybe they can do it. Again, I'm Naisu. This is Trex on Desk. We're going to go ahead and throw it over to the stage to give it to our hosts and hear from our winners, SRG.
The Selangor Red Giants remain undefeated and have made it to the Grand Finals. And now we are joined by Innocent as he has now paved the way to the Grand Finals. Congratulations on winning the best of 5.
Ang lupet, you were so great. You helped Selangor Red Giants advance to the Grand Finals. You've made history for the first time in Malaysia. There's a Grand Finalist in an international tournament, undefeated for 106 days. What does this victory mean for you and for Selangor Red Giants?
I think this will help us from our upcoming game tomorrow because this is a good momentum.
Good momentum, for sure, with a sweep.
Oh yeah, I mean 3-0 and now making it to the Grand Finals. I mean, look, people and the community have been dubbing your run as Prime Malaysia. What are your thoughts on that?
For us, we're just humble and enjoying the game.
Just humble and enjoying the game. Up next, you're going to be facing Falcons AP Brand. Do you have any predictions of how it's gonna go?
I think it's gonna be a close fight because we know AP Bren is so good.
You think it's gonna be a 3-2?
It's BO7, right? Maybe for
The best of 7, that's right.
4-3, I think.
You think it's gonna be 4-3. And are you feeling nervous about facing them up next?
No, because we've been screaming with them.
Very confident.
I mean, yeah, they're doing all the preparation they can. And so far with the 3-0 sweep, you guys look like you're more than ready. And now I believe we are ready to present the key of NIP Flash to Innocent and to the Selangor Red Giants after their victory and taking the next step to the Grand Finals of MSC 2024 here at MSC. How do you feel now that you're holding the key of your opponent and you've taken your step to the next stage of the tournament?
I don't know what to say, but I think we will put them on our trophy if we win.
Congratulations. Job well done. Once again, a big round of applause to Selangor Red Giants. Undefeated. Now we're looking forward to the next best of 7 series. We'll see you tomorrow for the Grand Finals. And to break it down for you, we're going to head on over to our panel.
Look at that. This best of 5 ended in the sweep. And let's just say this. There were a lot of crazy moments happening in this game. Innocent stealing the Lord. Sakai, the Sky Prince. Like, how does he make those plays?
I don't know, man. It's upsetting to me because it's just like, what's the point of having Retri if everybody else is securing the Lords and the Turtles by themselves?
Look at... Okay, so that I believe that's like 1 bar of damage onto Hades from just the AoE damage of the Lord, like the lightning, whatever skill that is.
Oh, just guys, man. Like, I don't know if he can use this Fanny against Falcons AP Brand, but that looked good.
I don't know. Wolf was telling me just now, do Fanny players, like, do they hate themselves or are they having the best time of their life? And as soon as that Way of the Dragon is out from JPL, that's when he's having the time of his life.
I kind of reviewed what happened in that Lord fight around the 10 minutes, and it's confirmed. One hit of the Lord onto a Baksha is 1 bar of damage onto Hades. So that's what? At least 500, right? And then that is coupled up with one of the lightning spell. I forgot what it's called, but it's like, imagine it's the AoE spell of the Lord. In the proper map, it's like a lightning spell.
No, we get it. Yeah.
And if you combo that up, so it's one hit and then one lightning that's like 1,000 damage with 2 bars on a Baxia. That's how actually Hades died.
The thing is, the Lord is merciless at this point.
The Lord is actually Malaysian at this point?
Yeah, the Lord is, you know, every time we want to start Lord dance, we say Apakapa.
What?
And then the Lord's like,
It means, how are you, you know? It's just a greeting at that point. And
Okay.
I totally agree with you. I think, you know, especially in this game, there was a lot of free flow from the side of SRG. And despite that, the game ended up 17 to 17.
I think NIP Flash did not do the salam.
Yeah, he did salam, yeah.
And while SRG did the salam, the Sekai's probably like, hey, Lord, salam.
Yeah, he salam the Lord, definitely. In case you guys don't know, it means a handshake, and then it's like putting the hand on your forehead, kissing the hand, so showing respect.
We're gonna demonstrate it later, right?
Yeah,
When it comes back to us. I can't believe it. And this is a game where SRG, honestly, I'll be honest, and I have expressed myself during the draft, even after the draft off cam. This draft is difficult to pull off if you are NIP Flash. And yeah, what's the salam is like this, right?
Simply, yep,
like that.
Yeah, there you go.
So what does it represent again? Respect.
Just showing respect, yeah.
Yeah. In the Philippines, it's called mano. So mano po. Like that. So if you show respect, you eventually get favors afterwards. Like if you do it to your grandma, they give you money.
Hey,
you know?
that's same in Malaysia. We have like entire holidays based around that as well.
But so if you do it to the Lord, I guess
the Lord
get
like,
favored.
You know what? I'll attack this guy. We good now. But yeah, honestly, like this game, it's a lot of macro and a lot of mechanics as well.
Yeah, Sekai's just showed us a masterclass of the Fanny. We have not seen in a very long time. To be fair, there's not a lot of Fanny players. Yeah, I do hope that we see this in the grand finals.
I doubt it, because going up against Falcons, going up against Falcons, AB Brand, I don't think you'll have that space.
Yeah, okay.
But if he makes it work,
okay.
Sky Prince, man.
Okay.
He'll truly deserve that moniker, especially against the final boss here.
Yeah.
But I think I can agree with everybody's sentiment that, you know, generally the way that this game was going to be played was like, yeah, it's going to be hard to execute from the side of NIP Flash, and I think they can kill secure, but at the cost of what? And I think it's an overkill to a certain degree.
Yeah. The casters even pointed out that after the first death on Sekai's, which was done by JPL, was really, really good, but then they gave up some kills up top, which eventually not even neutralized the Fanny. If you look at the first turtle, the Fanny as well as the Baksha at the same level. And every effort that NIP Flash did was, you know, thrown into the trash bin just because of one good play coming up from the Fanny.
I mean, that's the thing, right? A lot of it is just conditional. They're just waiting to bait out resources, and then it becomes a war of attrition. That's why the game was 17 to 17 at the very end.
Yeah.
But even so, right? I agree with you that the draft was already kind of wonky, and I think they really needed to make a decision on how they want to approach a lot of these fights, and that's where the draft comes into play, where there was a lot of overlaps from the side of SRG to ensure that they get over that finish line more easily.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, guys, we gotta look up, because the Sony MVP is the Sky Prince. It's Sekai's, and again, playing that Fanny. Oh my goodness! Like, let's talk about how much of a risk it is using that Fanny. It's kind of like playing Arlet Rome. You're either good or you're looking forward to the next game.
Yeah, I haven't played Fanny now a very long time. I can't even think about how to utilize it now. And we know for sure that Sekai's played. I think that this is the part where he's actually enjoying. Like after getting the first turtle, he's just enjoying just poking and prodding. Unpunished afterwards, it's just collecting kills after kills. The thing is, there were many times where Innocent was actually taken out. I gotta say, masterful initiations coming out from JPL. Good combination with Kurt. But then, because you initiate so much on Innocent, you kind of forget where Sekai's, who's just collecting everything. And then, end of the day, it will be Innocent to actually get that Lord.
Personally, for me, I do think that, you know, NIP Flash, previously it's like one answer to one problem.
Yeah.
But it felt like this time they were looking for, like, you know, 3 answers to a singular problem, and I think they may have over tunnel vision during the second half of the pick and ban phase.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what got to them. It could be the pressure as well.
And by the way, I just remembered back in the day, back in season 12 of FPL ID, I was able to talk to Marky, gold laner that actually had the most Lord takes as a gold laner. The idea was everybody during the latter portions of the game thinks as if they have their own retribution. It's like no matter what spell you kind of attempt to take the Lord for yourself. Even when you have the smallest chance to take it, you will attempt it. I think that's what Innocent did. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna time my attack to get this Lord eventually, and he did. It's like everybody from your team will attempt to take the Lord so that it will be the best case scenario. And here you go.
And now we have Yums in the studio. First of all,
hello guys.
Yums, semi-final, 3-0 against NIP Flash. How are you guys feeling right now?
Feeling great, feeling great.
Feeling great. Now, here's the thing. Malaysia has never been to the grand finals in MSC, in M Series, and Yums, you've been in the international stage for a very long time. So now, going to the grand finals, going up against Falcons AP Bren, how does that make you feel?
Kita orang, first of all, kita orang rasa bersyukur lah sebab kita orang dapat masuk ke grand final dan buktikan yang Malaysia boleh masuk ke grand final, dan saya nak buktikan ke Ciku yang saya boleh masuk grand final juga, bukan dekat suka-si je.
All right, so I'm going to translate. He said, first of all, he is feeling very, syukur in English,
thankful.
Feeling very thankful, feeling very grateful. And he wants to show to everyone in the world that Malaysia can compete in the international stage, that he can go to the world stage, go up to the grand finals, and most importantly, he wants to show Chiku that he can actually do it. So no matter what he says, look at me, baby, I'm here. Okay, now I have. Okay, you
was that the proper translation?
Yeah, no, it's 1-to-1. It's 1-to-1. I mean, you truly proved to everybody that you do deserve to be here. But I'd like to ask you, for you personally, Yums, is there any hero that you would like personally? If you win MSC, if they could make a skin just for you, what would it be?
I think for me, I want skin for my goal lane because my goal lane is scary for me.
He's so humble. I can't.
Well, now that he mentioned the gold lane, I wanted to ask, what's the impact of Innocent and Cram for your side laners in SRG?
Dorang sangatlah bagus.
Okay, I'm gonna translate. He's saying both Cram and Innocent, they create a different dimension for Selangor Red Giants. They're very strong, but having both Innocent as well as Cram just creates a whole different meta for them that they can go up against any team in the world, just because having both reliable side laners make them very confident in their gameplay.
I love your translations, man. I just love it.
Yeah, that's what he said, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Ken, betul kan Yums?
Betul.
Yeah, he said yeah. It's true.
I'm sure.
Honestly, Yums, I'm curious to know, right? After NIP Flash took down the homeboys, for you playing against NIP Flash, what was it like? Are they just like kind of wild, or is it pretty standard for you?
I think it's pretty standard for us because we already fight with them in MPL before MPL.
Yeah,
we already scrim with them. Yeah.
So Yums, I have to ask. You guys know grand finals, Selangor Giants going up against Falcons AP Brand. You guys have maybe less than 24 hours to prepare to go up against Falcons AP Brand. So after this interview, going back with the team, how are you guys going to prepare for tomorrow?
Okay, actually just now it's just a scrim. So we already prepare ourselves for AP Brand.
Okay, so the semifinals is just a scrim, guys. They're preparing for Falcons AP Brand.
It's practically faster than a scrim because the scrim is like 4 games.
This one is 3.
So this is a recorded scrim.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. First of all, Yums, how come you don't have these types of conversations during MPL MY? Why now are you feeling so good about yourself, so expressive?
Yeah.
Sebab saya rasa nak bercakap.
Yum said he feels very comfortable with the boys here. He really likes Gideon LaFell as well as Wolf. Now, he's feeling himself very, very well because he said during all those times, he didn't feel like talking. But now, going to the grand finals, it's his time to talk. So just imagine if he wins the grand finals, he won't stop talking. All right, but for real, against Falcon AP Brand, is there anyone that you guys are worried about?
I think Kyle TZ.
Kyle TZ, huh?
Because his hero pool.
Yeah, his hero pool is definitely huge. And we got to look at the STC play predictions. Let's see what the audience said about this match. 68% said Selangor Red Giants, 32% said NIP Flash. Yums, how do you feel looking at the audience prediction?
The audience is true.
The audience is smart.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, the audience is very, very clever. But again, even our analyst was talking about it, saying Selangor Giants is looking pretty good for this one. Now, Innocent said tomorrow might go all 7 games, 4-3.
Yeah.
Now, let's gauge your confidence from 0 to 10. going up against Falcons AP brand. Again, they haven't lost a single series. You guys have not lost a single match as well in 106 days. Going up against Falcons AP brand, can you keep your win streak?
We will do anything to protect our undefeated.
They will do everything that they can to keep their win streak. With that being said, you know the key NIP Flash gave to Innocent? You ready to watch it getting crushed? You want to see it getting crushed? All right, since he wants to see it, let's see the key crushing.
Hey everyone, I am here with the Selangor Red Giants after they managed to sweep NIP Flash in our semifinals. Well, and I'm joined by the entire roster. But Coach Becky, I want to ask you, how does it feel to crush your opponent's key on your way to the grand finals?
I think this matters so much for us because they were taunting us. They were saying that Malaysia is easy, right? They destroy homeboys, but today, this key crushing is with the strength and power of the entire Malaysian community. So we're going to crush you guys so hard.
I like that. They managed to get their revenge. And now, if you guys wouldn't mind, it is time to crush your opponent's key. Innocent, if you don't mind doing the honors. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the ceremony that happens every single time a team is eliminated from the tournament. Every single time a team's journey comes to an end.
Let's go.
5 tons of pressure continuing to weigh on the golden key that represents a team's journey throughout the Esports World Cup.
Brutal.
Absolutely brutal indeed. And that right there is quite a lot of pressure. Oh, he wants to completely crush it. Okay. That seems like revenge served in the best way possible for the representatives from Malaysia. Doesn't look so easy now, does it? No, I don't think so. Now, Becky, Innocent, SRG, everyone, is there anything that you guys want to say to the fans supporting you guys at home? Becky?
All right, I'll let him.
Oh, okay, go for it.
All right, I understand that there's a lot of watch party going on in Malaysia. I think there's 3 or 4 watch party live, or all Malaysians are gathered together supporting behind us. So this is for you. This is for you, Malaysians. This is for you guys.
You heard it here, everyone. This is for you, everyone back home supporting SRG and supporting them on their journey. As now, they've made it to the grand finals, and they will be facing Falcons AP Bren for the title of MSC 2024 champions. Let's head on over to the studio to break down what happened with our sweep. Take it away, everyone.
So, Yums, I know my hair is like this, but I gotta ask, what happened to Gorgeous hair?
I don't know.
You don't know. But anyways, how does it feel watching NIP Flash's key getting crushed?
So fun. So I just can't wait for crash another key.
Oh, he wants to crush another key. And with that being said, look at the camera, and do you have anything to say to all the audience watching at home?
To all our fans, thank you for supporting us. Without you guys, we are nothing.
All right, thank you very much, Humes, and big congratulations, and power whip. Power whip. With that being said, thank you very much to Humes, and now we're actually going to look at the bracket to really solidify what happened throughout this entire tournament. As guys can see, it started off just a few days ago after winning 3-0 against NIP Flash. That's going to be our grand finals. It's going to be Falcons AP Bren going up against Selangor Red Giants. So it's going to be Philippines going up against Malaysia. Wolf, we're going to be working again tomorrow, Wolf.
That's right.
Don't know how to feel about it.
Well, we don't have much choice, but we have to face it together.
It's okay. No matter what, love you, man.
I love